Okay. Hi there, I'm Alice and welcome back to Study Diaries. This will be part 2 to the COVID-19 video that we were kind of dissecting. Okay, so I talked about like different situations leading to this, and one of them was Republicans versus libertarians, right? So one thing I've realized with republicanism and libertarianism, right, we're going to speak of this in the aspect of America, right, because other countries, I think, link towards more conservatism, but we need to actually discuss like American politics, because American politics influences the entire world. Hollywood influences the entire world. When liberalism is more favored in America, it spreads towards the entire world. The reason why the apartheid government even stopped, right, with what they were doing in South Africa, for instance, was due to being cut off, right, by NATO, by Russia, all of like it's literally due to the US being like, we're not going to fund you if you continue your stringent laws, right? I know we like to think that it happened due to a change of heart or anything like that. It had nothing to do with that. They were cut off from the world. They couldn't trade. They couldn't do a bunch of things. They couldn't get a lot of stuff, and it was draining South African finances. And that is why they agreed to stop apartheid in South Africa. So America is very influential, right? If a party in a different country carries like certain remarks, for instance, Gaddafi, right, when he wanted to join the countries and they were saying that he was actually doing a good thing, but he was running a dictatorship, he was assassinated, right? So whether you like it or not, they play a huge part in what happens in the rest of the world. So we had the Republicans and the liberals, right? So Republicans, that party, the conservatives, etc., that party, right, I feel like was curated as a means of training, right? The same way COVID-19 was. So I feel as though the Republican Party was placed there as a means of deviating people from conservative views. They did it on purpose to deviate people from conservative views, right? They always replay Republicans as doing very terrible things, being racist and all those things, which they are, okay? But all of them work for one system, because we know that Trump was even in the Epstein files, right? So let's leave that to your imagination. So they consistently say very wrong, incorrect things on a continuous basis. Then we have the libertarians, right? Libertarians are more so associated with good qualities, like Barack Obama, right? They have an image of goodness, but they don't necessarily do anything for people. That's what the liberals are. They actually are the reason why America kind of went on a trajectory downwards, right? The country, in a sense, right? So I wonder who's in, oh, okay, never mind that. So think of Barack Obama. A lot of people, right, African Americans, they were saying that this man did nothing for the Black community, despite being mixed and despite being the first Black president, which he's not, he's mixed, right, in America. And he's mixed for a reason, because they wouldn't allow someone who is fully Black and also not associated with their world agenda, right, to be in power. So they put Barack Obama over there, and he was always celebrated. Like, all the celebrities loved him. All celebrities were going to parliament, and it was continuously like perceived as this light moment, despite people in real life saying, hey, Black Lives Matter, all of these things. I just want you to know that this is what's happening in America. What happened when Trump was in power was something that was occurring for a long period of time. It just got highlighted because they were trying to take the Republicans out. Now, the reason why the Republican Party was made was due to wanting Christian values completely removed and relaying libertarianism, which accepts everything to be perceived as better and more perfect. That is why the Liberal Party exists. They are all part of that. They're part of the same system, but the Liberal Party exists due to that. So I saw this and I was like, they're conditioning society to perceive libertarianism as better in comparison to conservatism. All celebrities, every single celebrity was like, if Trump is put as president, we are leaving, we are not doing a thing. Like in this country, we are exiting America, blah, 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 blah. They do that intentionally, right? Because it's going to gear you towards libertarian views. And I was also in that position where I thought the Liberal Party was the perfect party and stuff like that. And I was like, they seem like they have good views, and it always paints Christianity in a bad light. That is what COVID-19 was. It's a training session. It is conditioning people to be that way, despite a majority of people being conservative. A majority of people in the world believe in Christian values. They believe certain things are wrong, certain things are right, and etc., etc. However, when you induce fear onto people and you relay something as consistently negative, like shows like Euphoria saying Christians are judgmental, that thing isn't put there by mistake. Right? Those old shows as kids where the Christian girlie who was wearing pink, she was right. She was always with the bad the good guy, always like making excuses for him. She was always painted as this crazy Christian Bible thumping freak, while the bad girl, the one who was doing the bad things and all that stuff, was painted as the perfect good person on a continuous basis. This is not by mistake, and that's what COVID-19 was. It wasn't by mistake. Apparently, there's a hantavirus as of current. I'm still going to dig into that one, but I thought of COVID-19 for some reason because I remember theories around this, and I remember that it has nothing to do with the vaccine being the mark of the beast necessarily. It is to condition people to accept a certain way of living, and it is to see how people react to certain things. Are people complicit? If you are abused enough, you start complying to your abuser's way of thinking because you're constantly trying to avoid the reaction they have towards you. Right? Liberal views. And a lot of people who follow libertarianism, and I'm telling you this as someone who deconstructed from that aspect because you think it's good, they are leading people on a trajectory to accept everything. If you say, right, the Bible is incorrect, it relates to moral relativism, right? That entire theory is on the basis of the fact that when a certain society deviates from religious views, right? Islam, when it deviates, for instance, right, from its religious views, you are left with your own perception of what is right and what is wrong. When life is like that, you do not have the right to tell someone that they are wrong about certain things, right? So when they're like, being gay is okay, right? It starts off that way. That means if someone is like, hey, I can sleep with a kid, it's eventually going to be seen as okay, right? They're going to say, God made me this way. It starts this way. If someone wants to sleep with animals, right? It's slowly deconstructing all of these laws. That's what it allows. It allows a freeway path to everything that is seen as incorrect within the Christian religion. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. Bye.